Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to be showing you how to create the mini Jade Viper bracelet. This is the smaller version of the original Jade Viper that's on my channel. It was created by Allie and her Instagram handle now is lumax.looms. I will place it at the bottom of my screen and in the description box below. So back then when Allie created this, I had it sitting to the side and just haven't made a tutorial for it, but it has been designed for quite a while. It is a reversible design. The back side is super cool. It has like a raised middle, just like the original. I will be showing you how to do the fishtail extension for this at the end using the auto loom. But if you don't have an auto loom, you can use 2 pins on the loom as well. So for today's version, you will need 136 bands plus approximately 25 extension bands. The breakdown is 72 of these clear bands, 33 of the blue, 20 of the orange, and 11 of the white that sits in the middle. For the extension bands, I use the same color as these bands here. You will also need 1 C-clip and your hook, and I will go ahead and show you guys the loom setup. To make this bracelet, you need to have at least 4 bars wide. You're going to have the 2 middle bars aligned, and then the outer bar pins will be staggered downwards like this. If you want to avoid an extension, you'll have another loom set up just like this and just connect it in front of this one. I'm using an extension, so I'm just going to use this one setup of 4. And we're going to choose the first bands that we're going to lay, which are going to be the glitter clear right there. And you see it right here on the back. So we'll start by laying 1 going across the middle for closing it. And then we'll go diagonal down to the right and left. We're now going to lay straight ones on this outer bar row, and we're going to be laying, for the 1 loom set, you're going to lay 11 straight ones. So starting from right here being number 1, you're going to lay 11, and then you will bring it into the center. If you are doing a full length bracelet, you're going to lay 24 of them and then bring it into the center. Just like that. You're going to do the same thing on the other bar pin. Just like this. Once you get down to the end of the loom, you will bring it into the center like you did on the other side. So it will look like that once both sides are complete. We're going to come back to the beginning. We're going to keep that same color, or at least I am, and it's going to be the 2 middle rows now where that glitter clear is. You can certainly use a different color if you'd like. I like to just use all of the same color for this, and we're just going to lay some more single chain bands going straight down. So I'm going to do this row, and you will lay until you reach the very end where your remaining bands are down there, and then you're going to do the same thing to this bar pin. Like that. So go ahead and get this bar pin right here filled out the same way, and then I'll show you what we're going to do next. Okay, so this is what it will look like after they're all completed. I did push mine down a little bit, and I'm going to come back to the beginning, and now we're going to choose the color where my blue is laying right here. We're going to come to the side pins here, and we're going to lay a diagonal band going in towards the center on both sides like that. And then we're going to lay 1 more going across the center right on top. Now I like to usually use all of the same color for all 3 of those bands. I just think it looks better and flows better. The band is actually sitting right there, that horizontal one. Here's one that I used a different color, and you could see it's the yellow. You could certainly use a different color there like I did here. I just think it looks better with it matching these bands here. But that is definitely your choice. And now we're going to switch the color again, and that's going to be my orange band. So from the center where we end it, we're just going to go diagonally outwards to the outer pins like that. Go back to your first color. So if you're using more than 1 color here where the blue is, you're going to grab a new color right now. I'm sticking all with blue, and I'm going to go diagonally downwards towards the center pins and finish off with the blue horizontal on top. I will grab my orange, and where we ended, I will go diagonally out like so. Back to my blue, and my horizontal in the middle, and my diagonal orange. We will keep alternating between these two steps down the loom. The only thing we're not going to lay is the last diagonal orange bands, and I'll show you that when we get there, as I don't want to confuse anyone. Alrighty, so I'm at the end of my loom, and we are not going to be laying the last orange right here. You can see that it technically could fit one more set of the orange diagonal bands, but I opted not to lay them because they end up looking a little bit too loose on the end of the bracelet. So your loom should look like that, regardless if you're using one set or two loom sets. Now you're going to want to go through and push these bands down, specifically the two middle rows, just to give you a little more room. So now we're going to be laying the white band that sits in the middle here. I'm going to go ahead and stick with that white. And starting on the second row right here, we're going to lay a horizontal band going right on top of the bands that are already there. Just like that. That's why it's important to push the bands down, just to give us a little more room. So we're going to do this all the way down the loom. The only one that we're not going to lay it on is the very, very last one, which is what our cat band wound up going on. Like that. So we're going to go ahead and turn our loom around, and we're going to grab one more of the very first color that you used right here, and we're going to place a cat band on one of the pins. So you're just going to wrap that around twice, and then using a hook, grab that whole cat band and pull it over so it's connecting on both of them like so. So the first thing that we're going to do is loop this white horizontal band right here. We need to grab this part of the band right here from inside the cat band. So I'm going to put my hook in the center of it, and you need to push your hook up far enough so that it can grab that white band. So I just push it right through the middle of the two horizontals on that pin. Make sure you're only grabbing the top one. You're going to pull it towards yourself, up through that opening, and now we're going to loop it up to the pins. I go to the left one first, attach it, pull it to the right, and attach. So we're just looping it back to itself. We just have to do it, going through that cat band. Once you do that, we're going to be looping the diagonal blues. So we're going to move this horizontal blue out of the way, and we're going to grab the next band down, which is this blue diagonal. Loop that out. Do the same on the left side. Like so. So now we're going to come back to the middle, and that blue horizontal band that is wrapping around the two centers, we need to flip the back side of it over these two pins so that it's sitting here in the front. So I'm going to turn it around really quickly. This band right here, the second band down, is what we're going to be flipping over. So when I reach behind the pin and grab it, I'm grabbing this right here. I'm going to lift my loom up, reach behind, grab the blue horizontal. I'm going to bring it over both pins. Sometimes I have to kind of come over the left first and then push my hook over to the right. However you need to do it to make sure you get both sides completely over the pin and sitting in front of them. So it will look like that. So now we are back at needing to loop the white again. So we're going to do it the same exact way that we did it down here, except this time we have to go through this opening right here where the white is. So put your hook in between these two pins, push it up far enough so that you're going to be able to grab this white one up here. Make sure when you're doing this you're not pushing up too much, like towards the ceiling, or else you're going to pop these bands off. So get your hook down in the space, Move it up enough to grab the white horizontal and pull the white towards yourself up through the opening and loop it back up to the 2 pins it was coming from. Once you do that, we're now going to be looping the orange bands down. So it's the first band in there once you get in there, like so. We're going to loop the blue again. So we're going to move this horizontal blue band out of the way, grab the blue diagonal and loop it up to itself. Repeat on the left side. And now we need to flip that blue horizontal band again on these 2 pins. So remember, we're going to reach behind it. It's the second band down. You're going to bring it over both pins. Once it's in front of it, or in front of them, you can let it go. I'm just going to straighten it out a little bit. It should be sitting like that. We need to loop the white again. So we're going to go in between these 2 pins, going under the white band, push your hook up, and grab the next horizontal white band that is next in line. Pull it up through that opening, and loop it up to the pins above it. Loop the orange down. And we'll loop the blue diagonals out. We're going to flip that blue horizontal, so reach behind the pins. It's the second horizontal band down. Now sometimes that horizontal band does get a little bit twisted within the white band. It depends on the type of band you're using. If it gets twisted, just make sure you're grabbing this correct horizontal band, whatever color this is. Make sure that's the band you're grabbing from back here. And flip it over the 2 pins and sit it in front. We're going to start that all over again. So we're going to go into the space. We're going to push our hook up enough to grab the next horizontal band, pull it up and through that space, and up to the 2 pins. We will loop the orange down. And now we're going to loop our blue diagonals. And we will flip that blue horizontal, that's the second band down behind the pins, up and over. We're going to go between these 2 pins, reach up and grab that white horizontal, loop it up, loop our orange downwards, loop our blue diagonals, and flip the horizontal blue from behind the pins up and over. So we're going to keep repeating these steps. I think this is a really fun bracelet, as long as you just take your time and pay attention to the steps. I would say this part right here where we grab the white band, it's definitely a little bit different way of doing it, but I'm confident you guys will pick it up easily. It's definitely a fun bracelet to make, and there's so many possibilities with this one. There really is. The one thing I would say is just do not forget to flip the back side of that horizontal blue over before you move on, because that's the one step I kept forgetting. It does change the outcome, so take your time and repeat. So I'm at the top of my loom, and I just got done flipping over the horizontal blue over these 2 pins. The next step would normally be to reach up and grab the horizontal white, but as you can see, I don't have any more. So that is the end of this part here. We do not have a horizontal white that we need to grab. So that will finish off this section. We're going to come back to the beginning, and I do recommend you pushing these down a little bit just to give us a little room. Once you do that, come back to the beginning. We're going to come to this cap band right here. We're going to be looping up the 2 straight clear bands that are on these 2 rows. So we're going to be working side by side, looping these at the same time. So I'm going to reach in the cap band and grab this first clear band that's going straight and loop it up. Do the same to this one. After you loop those straight, we now need to grab this whole white cap band right here, and you're going to pull it towards yourself and over both pins, just like we did with the blue horizontal. So pull it over the pin, sit it in front like so. After you're done that, we're going to reach back into that same pin, grab the very bottom band, loop it straight. Make sure you do it on both pins. After you loop it straight, once again, we're going to grab this white cap band right here, pull it towards yourself and over both pins. Now, if you need to bring it over one side, let it go, grab it again, and bring it over to the right side. You can do that. Whatever you need to do to get it over both pins. We're going to keep alternating, looping up the bottom band going straight on both center pins, and then flipping this white cap band over both of them, pulling them to the front like so. So I will loop my straight bands up again. Remember, this is the very bottom band that we're grabbing. We're going to grab all of these white bands here. It's 2 of them, the white cap band. Pull it over both pins and sit it in front. We will loop up the bottom band. Do that again. Grab the white band right here. Pull them over the pins and sit it in front. We're going to alternate doing these 2 steps all the way up the loom. We will also flip the very top white cap band, and I'll show you that once I get up there. I'm at the top of my loom, and I just flipped over my last set of white bands. And then to finish off this part, we're just going to grab the last remaining clear bands and loop them straight up, connecting to the very top of the loom. Like so. Don't forget to loop those 2 straight or your bracelet will fall apart. So now that that's done, you're going to want to push the outer bands down a little bit, just so they're not too close to the top of the pin. And we're going to come back to the beginning. It doesn't matter which side you do. I'll do the left so you can see it a little better. We're going to start by grabbing this border band, as I call it, and loop it back to itself. And do that one more time with this band here, looping it up. Once you loop that up, we now need to flip over the 3rd and 4th band down, which is going to be my blue. I put my hook right in this space right here and grab both blues. So again, it's the 3rd and 4th band, and you're flipping them up and over like that. We've done a similar step like this many times in the past. We'll go back in the pin, grab the bottom band and loop it up. And then we will grab both blues, which is the 3rd and 4th band down, and flip it up. Grab the border band again and loop it up. And flip the 3rd and 4th band down. Make sure you're getting both of them. And we will just keep alternating between looping up the border and flipping the blue. I didn't think it through when I used clear for all of the straight bands, so hopefully you guys can see it okay. Once I go to edit this video, I will know if I made a grave error or if we're going to be able to see them okay. I really hope we can see them okay. When you get to the top pin up here, this top corner one, we are not going to flip those two blues over. So leave them on the pin. Just continue going in and grabbing the last bottom band and bringing that to the top center like that. We're going to come back to the beginning and we're going to do the same process on the right side. So go into your cap band, loop that first border out, grab the bottom band again and loop it up, and we will repeat by flipping the third and fourth band over like so. So go ahead and get the right side done just like we did the left side, and I'll meet you guys back here at the top. So I'll be ahead of you, but I just want to remind you guys, when you get to that top corner, the very last pin right here, don't flip those blue bands over. Just continue looping the very bottom band to the center like that. Now, if you're doing an extension like me, we are going to either grab a second hook or grab a C-clip just to temporarily hold this last band here. So we're going to reach in and grab the bottom band and bring both ends together. I'm going to slide it onto my hook since I have more than one, or you can temporarily C-clip it. I'm going to remove it from the loom carefully. So once I have it off of the loom, I do like to do some kind of stretches up and down, left and right, but right now I'm just going to focus on the extension. So I have the two bands right here on my hook. I'm going to grab my auto loom. If you don't have a loom, just use two pins that are directly next to each other on the loom or monster tail, like this, side by side. It doesn't really matter which direction your bracelet is facing. The only thing I would say is just be careful that you don't lose the band. I like to put the bracelet in front of the loom so I can kind of hold it tight. I hold it with my thumb. I bring the hook up and try to get one, if not both, of the bands on there. So since both bands went on, I'll just grab one of them, the one on top, and bring it over and connect on the right side. Once I know that it is on there, you can place your hook down, and now I'm going to get my remaining bands. I'm going to grab two more of that same color. You can lay these one at a time or at the same time. Once I have them on there, I'm going to push it down because the auto loom works best when they're pushed down, and I'm going to click it, and it looped itself. And then now, from now on, we will just add one band at a time, over and over. You lay a band and loop it. We'll keep doing that. I lay a total of 25 for my wrist size. My wrist is on the smaller side, and that fits me snugly, so you may need a couple more. It really just depends on your wrist size. If you're using two pins on the loom, you're doing the same thing, except instead of pushing this little button at the bottom, you will use your hook to remove the bottom band on each pin. So I'm not going to make a full extension, I just wanted to show you guys how to do it. And then once you're left with two bands, you can push it down again once your chain is long enough, and then do one more push like so that we have one band left. And then we're going to grab our hook and bring both ends together. Get them both on our hook and attach our C-clip. So then, of course, you're just going to take your C-clip and connect it to the cap band down there. You can also stretch it, like I mentioned briefly, up and down, but I do also like to stretch it like this, side to side. It just helps tighten up the middle bands, and then I do go up and down a little bit again. So that's it. I'm going to put that little guy to the side, but that is how you create the mini Jade Viper bracelet, created by Allie. Her Instagram handle is lumax.looms on Instagram. Don't forget to check her out. Tag her and myself if you make one. And that will be it. I do appreciate you guys watching today. I thank you so much, and I'll see you really soon at my next video. Thanks, guys. Bye.